Hello, greetings, this is Gilles Mancillon. I wanted to come and say hello, wish you a good day. I'm going to pull a few cards and let's see what Spirit may want, higher self wants to reveal to us. I'm going to pull out 10 cards with this Dakini deck. So the situation is the pillar of light. It is Shiva. It is putting our light on the fire, our hand on the light. It is a self-empowerment, the card of self-empowerment. So there is a great deal of power and enlightenment that comes along. What comes around the situation is the wish-fulfilling gem, which is the card of the lovers. So there is a great deal of potential. What we see in our conscious mind is mother's milk. It is from duality we want to return to the unity, the great milk of the universe, the mother. We want to return to the one, and so there is this longing, this desire. It is like a fourth dimension. For the third dimension is the world of senses and physical understanding of time and linear fashion. But as we discover that this is not all the way fulfilling, we can never find total fulfillment in that. Then we're seeking something else, and that which we seek is the fourth dimension, and eventually we'll find all that we were ever looking for in the fifth dimension, in the resolution of the process of consciousness in time and space. What's in our distant past, the subconscious, is puja. It's the purification bath. So it is about temperance, about purification, and so we're going through that. A great deal of cleansing. We can use the violet fire within ourselves or within others, within anything that can be problematic, rather than you looking at it and in a dualistic sense. Just send the violet fire and let those flames do the work of transmutation. What's happening now is just passing through. We are just passing through. Life is just passing through. Yet it is an eternal process. So as we understand that, we can let go of attachment and enjoy everything. What we see coming in the future, we're going to understand Maya, the illusion, how she spins. And so, in many sense, we are the one that are creating our life through this tapestry. What their strengths in the situation, who we are, is transformation. It is the great power of sexuality. It's the great power of the ruby the ruby red light. It is the self-empowerment. It is a new beginning. So we have all of that. It is all part of what has been happening. For we've been working on that. So it is very important I find it sometimes difficult to let go of all self-judgment. When I look at the condition of my life, sometimes I have judgment. God said, I have everything since I have found my spiritual path. But sometimes it is very difficult to let go of temporal circumstances, to tune into the light and focus on that and not being distracted. But this is every day there is progress that has been made until the day the focal point will become total. And at which point no obstacle will be able to stand in our way. And what we have in the outside world is the living goddess. It is the presence of beauty. It's the presence of love. The presence of it is the card of the heart. And so there's like we move into this heart space when everything is in the heart. The unity of the heart is the true discovery that we'll make. Though everything happens from within the heart. What are in our inner emotion is those principles of eternal life. We have understood that we are eternal beings, or we have a glimpse of that, and so those glimpses are becoming more solid until we'll reintegrate the fullness of our eternal nature. It's also opening ourselves to ancient wisdom, to allow this akash, those memories, to return to us, and the general outcome is a brand new beginning. It is the wheel of great time. It is the wheel of fortune. For if miracles are not happening, then you should wonder why, because they should be happening. They are happening, and it's just a matter of believing in the magic. I wanted to briefly behind me is a painting that is a poem of Confucius in French. But it's from the I Ching, and it's those paintings I made in 1990. I was vacationing in France, and I made all kinds of big paintings. And so most of them on this blue cloth. I had this huge blue cloth, and I made many canvases on that. Some of them I still have. I wanted to speak of of the understanding that silence is more powerful than words. They say words are silver, but silence is gold. And there is great wisdom within certain of those proverbs, from even Heraclit, who was the oldest philosopher we ever have a written trace. He wrote this big book, and then he gave it to the temple of Artemis. We know that, but we only found 100 different fragments of his book, and he used mostly for his philosophy, which was quite advanced, a lot of those proverbs, and some of them are quite wise. And even in the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu says, "He who speaks does not know; who he knows does not speak." So it is essential to understand that silence is more powerful than any words. Even the Master Thought says that also in the tablet, the Emerald Tablet of Thought. Also, the Master Babaji also said that if he said something funny about it. He said, "Only speak when you have something to say that will improve the silence. Otherwise, just remain silent. For there is much more power in being silent. You can influence once you're in a connected self. There is much more power in being silent than speaking. Although I'm being called to speak here, I don't believe. I do believe in the power of silence." And although light can come from communication as well, eventually we'll move into holographic telepathic communication. This is really what we are working towards. When I lived in LA, I moved to LA when I was 18, in 1982. I was not at all into spirituality. I went to art school, and then I opened an art gallery. But I was shocked, not shocked, but surprised. They were on TV, there was this Indian guru that would spend 1 hour every day. He had this 1 hour of TV, and he wouldn't say a single word. He would just stand there with a rose in his hand. I'm not really sure. It might be Osho, or maybe some other guru. There's plenty of wonderful spiritual teachers in California. And so, but at the time I didn't really understand why he was doing that. Now I understand. So it's kind of funny to look back on things. It's not easy to stay in silence, to be able not to respond, to keep the silence no matter what, is to remain silent. You can try to do a veil of silence for 1 day or like 1 week, but 1 day already, it's very, very difficult. In many sense, we have a personal reality that is unique to us. There is no, everything is created from within our consciousness, but we also have collective soul agreements, so we have to work within the collective. And so, because we made those agreements, once we understand our creator nature, we understand that we have created all the laws and all the rules of this universe, so we can change anything we want. So it's going to be quite exciting to feel that liberation, although people will continue to hold their limited beliefs. Sometimes the light will just shatter their illusion, but we want to do that in a gentle way. But at some point, I know there's going to be a great deal of light that will be infused into the collective consciousness of the earth, and then the veils will fall. And so it is better to be prepared for that than to remain in a state of shock. It's like if the galactic, the extraterrestrial ships would appear, at some point they will invade all the skies of the planet. They will be everywhere, and so it's going to be a magnificent show. But they want to make it they don't want to make anybody afraid. If they do that right now, people that would become catatonic. Because they have built all those fear in relationship to the galactics. When in truth they only love and light. They're here as teachers, as assistants to us. For we are sovereign, and we live in a sovereign planet. In essence, the fifth dimension we are seeking is the metaphysically. It is the return of God. It is the return of ethics, the return of respect, for everyone and the planet. So it's going to be very, very a very powerful time that is coming. Of course, we need to move into that. For we want to do small steps, maybe even baby steps. But if we can run to the finish line and move directly into the light, there is no need to wait and to go, just go or whatever, because eventually the focal points will become stronger to overcome all obstacles, and we'll find this fifth dimension. For the third dimension is the world of senses and linear time. The fourth dimension is expanding beyond that. And it's like a buffer zone between the truth of the soul. Understand, we want to understand ourselves as the soul, as a higher self. For the more we understand that, the more we become conscious and in control of the situation of our life. It is something that is happening step by step. For all is known by the soul, because the soul has access to the cosmic mind, the universal mind of God. And so the soul, once we get to the soul, we receive instant information. We become fifth dimensional. For it is a true home, a home of light, and the house of light, and the home of love. It is the fifth dimension, the realm of light. And that is a true home. We want to blend our consciousness with this great, amazing guide that we have, that the inner minister, the I am presence, and to blend in our consciousness, and this will so that we may realize our soul. Of course, to look for ways to release stress and use your psychic muscle, for we have received those great gifts, and now we want to use them as much as possible. I'm going to pull out 4 cards from the Akash. I'm going to finish with a French song. So the highest wisdom for us today is the tree spirit. Tree spirit, it is be able to use the knowledge we have gained to continue to grow from that. So the knowledge is like a platform. Sometimes we have to let go in order to receive higher truth, but it builds. What we need to understand, it's the highest wisdom, what we need to understand is the healer. So we have to heal ourselves, we have to heal the earth, we have to heal the others. How do we do that? By just making it whole. Once we find this peace, we cannot be stressed and in peace and stressed in the same time, or we cannot be in peace and in conflict at the same time, or in the drama. So it's about returning to this sense of peace by letting go of anything or any one problem or any drama that anyone is experiencing, to have and as they see this peace, they may avail themselves to the potential of moving into that direction in the heart as well. What we need to do is the lesson and good deeds. And so it's about understanding that we deserve to we learn our lessons, and then we harvest also. For we do not want to do good deed in order to harvest spiritual rewards. Because at which point we're no longer serene. We have to do good deed just to do good deed and then let go. But at some point, like I say, everything goes into circles. So whatever you give will return to you, and the more generous we are in every possible level, the more loving we are, the more the cycle, when the cycle comes back. And now the cycles is becoming shorter, this cycle of time. In linear time, it could take what we do in one life, we experience the result of that one life in the next life. But now that in the fourth dimension, it goes really much faster. In fifth dimension, no more karma. It's when we liberate ourselves from this cycle. And the general message is the angels. The angels are really divine beings of light. They are. And the more we attune ourselves, therefore they're very etheric, they're very high frequency being in relation to where we live here. For they work in every dimension, but even in the antimatter universe and all those. But they're always in service, and your guardian angel is working 24 hours, 7 days a week for you. So it's always there, or he or she is always there. So you can always call on the angels, and they will always respond in some ways. Well, I hope you find this video interesting. I'm going to finish with a song of Serge Gainsbourg. It's about lost love, and it's a response to the song I sang yesterday. This nostalgia of lost love, those love that have passed, and this nostalgia goes like this. Oh, je voudrais tant que tu te souviennes, cette chanson était la tienne, c'était ta préférée, je crois, qu'elle est de Prévert et Cosma. Et chaque fois, les feuilles mortes te rappellent à mon souvenir, jour après jour. Les amours mortes n'en finissent pas de mourir. Avec d'autres, bien sûr, je m'abandonne, mais leur chanson est monotone, et peu à peu je m'indiffère. À cela, il n'est rien à faire. Car chaque fois, les feuilles mortes te rappellent à mon souvenir. Jour après jour, les amours mortes n'en finissent pas de mourir. Peut-on jamais savoir par où commence et quand finit l'indifférence? Passe l'automne, vienne l'hiver, et que la chanson de Prévert. Cette chanson, les feuilles mortes, s'effacent de mon souvenir. Et ce jour-là, mes amours mortes en auront fini de mourir. Beautiful song by Serge Gainsbourg. It's a response song in relation to the song from that was sung by Yves Montand of Jacques Prévert. And so I think it's just as nice of a song. I'm going to do one more just because I just saw this from Serge Gainsbourg as well. This one was a little bit more hopeful, let's say. Écoute ma voix, écoute ma prière, écoute mon cœur qui bat, laisse-toi faire. Je t'en prie, ne sois pas farouche, quand me vient l'eau à la bouche. Je te veux confiante, je te sens captive, je te veux docile, je te sens craintive. Je t'en prie, ne sois pas farouche, quand me vient l'eau à la bouche. Laisse-toi au gré du courant, porté dans le lit du torrent, et dans le mien, si tu veux bien. Quittons la rive, partons à la dérive. Je te prendrai doucement et sans contrainte. De quoi tu peur, allons, n'aie nulle crainte. Je t'en prie, ne sois pas farouche, quand me vient l'eau à la bouche. Cette nuit près de toi, je viendrai t'attendre. Oui, je serai calme, je saurai t'attendre. Et pour que tu ne t'effarouches, vois, je ne prends que ta bouche. Well, thank you very much for sticking till the end. I thank you for commenting, liking, sharing, if you like. And I will come to you, I will return for more messages, inshallah, tomorrow. God bless. Namaste.